Good afternoon and welcome to this memorial service. My name is Rachel Hill-Brown and I'm one of the chaplains here at University Hospitals Birmingham. Together with my chaplaincy colleagues and the wider team of people who've been involved in putting this memorial service together, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us and for being here. Today, we join together to give thanks for those we have loved and cherished, who in this past year have very sadly died. Patients in our hospital community, beloved family members, neighbours, colleagues and friends. It has been a devastating time of loss for so many families, and we are here gathered to support one another. As we share in this service, we will be lighting candles. Do have one to hand if you would like to light one with us. There will be readings and reflections and music to unite us all in this time of remembrance. We will hear from a range of people within University Hospitals Birmingham and the community. And at the end of our time together, Andy Langford from Cruse Bereavement Care will be talking about further bereavement support that is available for you. Those taking part and those sharing today are a diverse group of people. We gather from many different cultures, traditions and faiths, perhaps of no faith. But we come together as one community, and it is a privilege to share with you. Wherever you are, in your home, or as a member of staff working in the Trust today, whether you are on your own or with some family members. As you bring your experience of sadness and grief, and any burden of suffering you may be carrying, I hope that you will feel connected, for you are not alone. Although this is a virtual service, we can still be present to one another and find strength. So may you feel surrounded by compassion and love in this moment and in the days to come. Today, we start by lighting 3 candles.
A candle of grief. We light this candle to acknowledge the grief that runs so deep. We light this candle as we acknowledge the sadness and emptiness that grief brings. We light this candle to acknowledge the emptiness and pain that comes with grief. And yet it is because of love that we feel this pain. It is because of joy and delight that we feel such loss. As we walk our path through pain and sorrow, may we slowly move towards peace, strength and healing.
A candle of memory. We light this candle to mark our memories. We light this candle to share our stories. We light this candle to remember the love, light and laughter. We light this candle to remember the tears, fear and anger. We light this candle in memory of you, all that you were and all that you are.
A candle of hope. We light this candle as a symbol of hope. We light this candle to remember the light that still shines in our diverse communities, families and homes. We light this candle to remember that the light of those who have died still shines on in our lives, families, homes and communities. May this candle signify the hope that is unbreakable, the light that shines, and the love that lives on.
We invite you now to light a candle for the person you are remembering today. If you don't have a candle, consider one of these candles here to be for you. As we light these candles, say the name of the one you love in your heart or out loud, to pause in memory of them and to give thanks. As I offer a short prayer now, I invite you to share in a way that is right for you. Let us pray. Mindful of the mystery that is love, within us and between us, we come to give thanks for the lives of our loved ones. May they be surrounded forever in peace and light. May they be blessed, free from any suffering, encircled in the love that knows no end. We are thankful for that love that lives between us forever. Together, we long for comfort and upholding for all who are grieving at this time. When the dark shadows fall, may we have the courage to entrust those we love to your care, to let quietness come upon us, and to trust the strength of your embrace supporting us all day long, O God. For you hold together all that is in heaven and on earth. Amen.
Light a candle. I will light a candle for you, to shut all the darkness and bless the times we knew. Like a beacon in the night, the flame will burn bright and guide us on our way. Today I light a candle for you. The seasons come and go, and I'm weary from the change. I keep on moving on, you know it's not the same. And when I'm walking all alone, do you hear me call your name? Do you hear me sing the songs we used to sing? You filled my life with wonder, touched me with surprise. Always saw that something special deep within your eyes. And through the good times and the bad, we carried on with pride. I hold on to the love and the life we knew. And I will light a candle for you, to shut all the darkness and bless the times we knew. Like a beacon in the night, the flame will burn bright and guide us on our way. Today I light a candle for you.
Thank you, Gurpreet. We're now going to hear from a representative of the Trust Board.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jonathan Brotherton, Chief Operating Officer here at University Hospitals Birmingham, and I'm delighted to be given the opportunity to just say a few words about the last year as part of this annual memorial service that we're here for today. It's been an incredible year in many ways, and one that's been fraught with huge challenges and a huge amount of despair and distress for many members of our community, either directly or indirectly affected as a result of the events of the last year. And it's with great sadness that we remember our patients, and we also remember and think about their relatives and their friends, and indeed our own staff and their relatives and friends who've endured a very difficult year at this quite incredible time that we're going through at the moment. There have been some fantastic things that have happened in order to try and do our very best for patients throughout this time, and I think our staff have gone above and beyond what we could ever have expected them to do, and for that we are incredibly grateful, and we need to work really hard to ensure that all of those people are supported in the best way that we possibly can, and support each other through the times ahead as well as we work our way out of this situation. But the main purpose of today is to remember those that we've lost, and to spend some time thinking about them with their family, with their relatives, with their friends at this very difficult time. Thank you.
I heard your voice in the wind today, and I turned to see your face. The warmth of the wind caressed me, and I stood silently in place. I felt your touch in the sun today as its warmth filled the sky. I closed my eyes for your embrace, and my spirit soared high. I saw your eyes in the window pane as I watched the falling rain. It seemed as if each raindrop fell, it quietly said your name. I held you close in my heart today. It made me feel complete. You may have died, but you are not gone. You will always be part of me. As long as the sun shines, the wind blows, the rain falls, you will live on inside of me forever, for that is all my heart knows.
Thank you, Richard. We're now going to hear from a representative from the Faith Advocacy Group.
I say salams to you all. Salam means peace be upon everyone. My name is Azim Suleiman. I'm from CSMA Birmingham. We provide free bereavement support and funeral services in the West Midlands for the Muslim community. Today we are here remembering the loved ones we've lost throughout the pandemic. It's not been easy. I know we do funerals in many families gone through this, but we've gone through it ourselves. This year we lost two uncles during the time. One uncle was in London, at least I managed to do his funeral. The other uncle was very close to me because I lost my father when I was 9, that was 35 years ago. And since then, this uncle is basically my dad's younger brother, have looked after us, so he's been a fatherly figure for us. But unfortunately, he died actually in South Africa. He was from Leicester, but went to see his son, and he passed away there. And during the pandemic, unfortunately, none of the families could make it to South Africa. As you know, South Africa was, high rates of COVID. Flights were not allowed to go. We couldn't fly anywhere, so we couldn't be present at his funeral, unfortunately. But that hit us quite hard. I always remember him. Always think that he's always with us, and I know spiritually, all the people who've gone will always be with us in our memories, in our hearts. It's not been easy, as you know, for those who have lost their loved ones. No matter what age you are, either young or old, you feel the loss in your heart. Bereavement is not easy, it hurts. But main thing, we just pray for them all, may they rest in peace. And as mentioned, when it comes to bereavement, no matter how clever you are, sometimes you can lose your senses. And this is where, the NHS, cruise bereavement support and other bereavement support services, multi-faith support services, people like us, we do our best to help everyone, including ourselves. And as mentioned, during the pandemic, as a community, no matter what background you come from, what faith you come from, what gender you come from, what age you are, we've all got together as a community to work stronger, help each other and support each other. Thank you to everyone.
Right now, I am in a different place. And though we seem apart, I'm closer than I ever was. I'm there, inside your heart. I'm with you when you greet each day, and while the sun shines bright. I'm there to share the sunset too. I'm with you every night. I'm with you when the times are good, to share a laugh or two. And if a tear should start to fall, I'll still be there for you. And when that day arrives, that we no longer are apart, I'll smile and hold you close to me, forever in my heart.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and again at this time of year when we take time to remember those that we've cared for and tragically those that we've lost through our services across the Trust. When I reflect on the last year, I think about the immeasurable amount of work and support and care and compassion that the Trust and its staff have tried to bring to comfort those who have been sick or in pain or tragically at the end of their lives. And at this point in time, I think it's important for us to remember those people that we haven't been able to return to their loved ones, those people that we've lost within our care and that we've sat by, we've stood with, we've walked with and we've helped but not been able to return to their previous lives or their loved ones. As I reflect on the past year and the work that we've done in managing those people presenting to us with COVID, as well as all the other people that we look after from our communities, those with cancer, those with long-term conditions, those who've experienced trauma, those who need operations with us, I think about how hard the staff have worked to make sure that all of those patients have been able to be brought into our hospitals and into our care or into our services in the community, and that we've given all that we can as colleagues to support them in their time of need. I want as well just to take a moment to think about and reflect on the staff that we've lost this year. We lose colleagues and have lost colleagues that work with us and alongside us this year, either because of COVID or because of other illness and other traumatic incidents that have happened. And for teams, that's always a really massive loss. And, you know, we don't expect to lose people of working age from our teams, and it's always felt very hard. But I hope that as a trust and as teams, we've been able to support people, to take the time to support each other, to pay attention to that loss within the team and then remember those colleagues. And whether that's been through enabling the passage of funerals through our trusts or staff being able to take time to go out and have a memorial with the support of our chaplaincy, it continues to be really important that that is a part of what we do as a trust and a very important part of what we do as leaders in the trust. This year and in fact in the last month or so, we took the opportunity across all of our sites to plant blossom trees in remembrance of those colleagues that we've lost over the last 20 months, many of them those colleagues that we lost with COVID or as a consequence of COVID. It was so important to us that we planted a tree, and it was there to signify not only something that we could see every day, but something that was living and breathing and gives us hope for the future. And that every spring as we walk into work and past the entrances where we've sited those trees, that when we see that blossom starting to come through, it reminds us of those colleagues that we lost, the life that they had in them and the support and the value that they brought to us as teams. I think that that's something that helps us think that even through those darkest hours, we still continue to give the energy and give the compassion and the care to people who still need it, and continue to think about the future and what we can do in terms of bringing hope to people, as well as points at which they can stand and reflect and take time to remember.
In a moment, you will see a series of pictures and the words of the poem In the Rising of the Sun, read to you by different members of staff from within our hospital community. At the close of this meditation, we will hold a 1-minute silence as we remember those whom we love.
When we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember them.
When we have a joy we crave to share, when we have decisions that are difficult to make, we will remember them.
At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember them.
At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, at the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember them.
At the rising of the sun and at its setting, we will remember them.
As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now part of us, as we remember them.
Today is an opportunity to acknowledge our shared grief, to remember and to give thanks, and to draw strength and hope from our shared experience. As our time together draws to a close, Jackie is going to say a blessing. I invite you to be still in this moment of peace.
Please join me in this familiar Gaelic blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sunshine warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
So this brings us to the close of our service today. I would like to say thank you to all those who've prepared this service, those who've been taking part in any way, including those working behind the scenes. We are very grateful for all the support we've had enabling this service to happen. And thank you for joining us today. This has made all the difference. I'm aware that at the end of a service would usually be a time where we can greet each other and perhaps shake hands or embrace, and that this year, sadly, that's not possible. So I invite you, particularly if you are on your own viewing this, just to take a moment and to know that you are part of a community that cares deeply for you. Please don't hesitate to be in touch with us, the chaplaincy team or the end of life and bereavement team here at University Hospitals Birmingham, or with Cruse Bereavement Care. If we can be of any further support to you, then do let us know. I turn now to Andy Langford from Cruse Bereavement Care.
Hello there, my name is Andy Langford and I'm the Clinical Director for Cruse Bereavement Support. On a day-to-day basis, we work with colleagues at the University Hospitals Birmingham Trust, Health and Social Care, and our friends and colleagues in the voluntary sector to help more and more people who have experienced the death of someone close. It's a real honour and pleasure to be speaking with you now and being involved in this memorial service today. I hope that you're able to take some time to care for yourselves and also to spend some time remembering those who you've loved and who have died, and who you've cared for and who continue to mean so much for you. Part of a memorial service is acknowledging how we feel and how it has been for us to experience the death of a loved one. For many of us, these last 18 months have been one of the most trying times. The pandemic has resulted in so many losses. People who are close to us have died, often suddenly, and for many of us, we were not able to be with the person in their last moments. We've found ourselves more isolated and lonely than before. For many of us, we've not been able to leave our houses, have a hug when we've needed one, or get together and share time and precious memories. People have lost jobs, their health and well-being, educational opportunities and housing. There have been so many losses on top of losses. I'm listing these not to make us feel low, although these things do rightly impact us. It's to acknowledge the pain that many of us have experienced over this time and continue to experience now. It's impossible to list all that everyone has been through and the challenges we continue to face. However, it is possible to acknowledge that for many of us, people whom we have held dear are no longer with us in person. It's also important to acknowledge all the care and support that people have provided through this time. At Cruise, we've seen people demonstrate such compassion for each other in our communities. We've also seen NHS and care workers care for people. Social care staff keep young people safe. Teachers and educators continue with the vital work of educating our children. And volunteers assuaging the loneliness people have felt. There are many other examples. I just want to say an enormous thank you to all those who continue to care for all of us at this time. Through acknowledging, we can then remember. It's so important to take time to remember those who mean so much to us, who are no longer with us. For many of us, we haven't been able to gather together and mourn the way we have needed to. It's important to take time to think of how we can remember those we've loved, how they have lived, and how much they continue to mean to us. Even though someone isn't with us, we still continue to relate to them. Our love and care for people doesn't stop. It changes. Just speaking with one of our helpline volunteers the other day, she said that on several occasions, she'd been supporting bereaved people who told her that they'd been asked by well-meaning relatives and friends about when they think they'll get over the death of their loved one, when they'll reach a point of closure and move on. What we know is that grief doesn't work like that. When we have been so connected with someone, we don't want to forget them. It's important for us to work out ways of remembering them, spending time with them, and working out how we can continue living with the memories we have for them. For many of us, it can be about marking someone's death, but also about celebrating who they were in life, what they continue to mean to us, and how their lives have brought us meaning. To say that life won't be the same when we've experienced a bereavement is an understatement. It's true though. However, we can find hope again. I spoke with someone else just a few days ago whose close relative had died. She'd been wondering whether she was doing the right thing when she was recalling some precious times they'd had together. In doing so, she was laughing and crying at the same time as she remembered. It's not disrespectful to both miss someone and also recall their lives with a sense of joy. It's a sign of how much they continue to mean to us. That said, we all need support sometimes. As the song exclaims, everybody hurts sometimes. If you're struggling and finding it hard to cope, or if you simply want to reach out to someone and talk, please do speak with those who are close to you, who you can trust and feel safe with. Also, there are many organisations like Cruise whom you can reach out to for help. Please do remember that you're not alone. Thank you, and do take care.